You know that feeling, right? You're in a game's settings menu just staring at it, trying to decide between cranking up those beautiful ray traced reflections or sacrificing them for a higher frame rate. If you have ever felt that pain, wondering if you have to choose between stunning visuals and smooth performance, well, you are in for a treat. Today, we're diving into the AI tech that promises to end that compromise for good, NVIDIA's DLSS.
I mean, for as long as PC gaming has been a thing, this has been the fundamental choice. It's this constant battle we all fight in the graphics menu of every big new game. So, do you crank everything up to ultra for that breathtaking, almost cinematic experience? Or do you dial it all back for that lightning-fast competitive edge?
And yeah, this really breaks it all down, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got those amazing graphics that just pull you into the game world. But the trade-off? Usually a lower frame rate, which can make things feel choppy. And you might get that dreaded input lag, that tiny delay between when you hit a button and when something actually happens. On the other side, high frame rates give you that silky smooth gameplay that you absolutely need for competitive shooters, but you're often giving up a lot of eye candy to get there.
For years, this whole compromise was just a fact of life for PC gamers. If you wanted the best of both worlds, you had to spend an absolute fortune on the biggest, baddest hardware money could buy. But what if I told you that's just not the case anymore?
This is where the game completely changes. Because what if you didn't have to choose? What if some new technology could just shatter that compromise entirely? Well, that is exactly where AI, and more specifically, DLSS, comes into the picture.
All right, so what is this thing, DLSS? The name stands for Deep Learning Super Sampling. It's an AI tech that does something pretty amazing. Think of it like this. Imagine you've got a small, kind of low-resolution photo. Now, instead of just stretching it out and making it all blurry, DLSS is like this super talented artist who can look at that small photo and intelligently paint in all the missing details, creating a beautiful, high-resolution masterpiece. That's what DLSS does for every single frame of your game, in real time.
I know, it sounds like straight-up magic, right? But of course it isn't. It's the product of some incredibly clever AI that's been trained just for this job. So, how does it actually pull this off, frame after frame, while you're in the middle of a game?
Okay, so let's walk through it. First, your graphics card renders the game at a lower resolution, like say 1080p instead of a super demanding 4K. This is way easier and faster for your hardware to do. Then, step 2, the AI kicks in. It looks at that low-res image, and it also looks at motion data from the frames that came before it to understand what's going on. And finally, step 3, it uses all that info to intelligently rebuild a final, gorgeous, high-resolution image.
Now, the tech under the hood is, well, it's insanely complex. We're talking about a neural network trained by NVIDIA on actual supercomputers. That AI artist we talked about, it learned how to do its job by studying tens of thousands of ultra-high-quality game scenes. By comparing low-res and high-res versions, it basically taught itself how to perfectly reconstruct an image. But the core idea is just so elegant. Work smarter, not harder. And this is just a huge leap forward from the old ways of doing things. Traditional methods for smoothing out jagged edges were all about brute force. They would render the image at an even higher resolution and then shrink it down, which is incredibly tough on your GPU. DLSS just flips that whole script. It starts low and uses AI to build up, which is just way more efficient. Okay, so the tech is seriously cool. We get that. But let's talk about what really matters. What does this actually mean for you when you're playing your favorite game? What's the DLSS difference you can actually see and feel? This is the big one. In really demanding games, players can see performance boosts of 50%, and sometimes even more. To put that into perspective, that's like getting a brand new, much more powerful graphics card. Except the upgrade is delivered completely through software, for free. It's wild.
But it's more than just a bigger number on a chart. For your gameplay, this means you get better visual quality, much smoother action because of those higher frame rates, and even lower input latency, which is absolutely critical for competitive games. It means less stuttering during those huge, explosive moments, and your whole PC just runs better. And this is what it's all about. You can see the end result right here. You get this crisp, clean image reconstructed by the AI, which lets you experience these stunning, immersive worlds without having to sacrifice performance. You really can have it all, the beauty and the speed. So, by now you're probably sold and thinking, okay, how do I get this magic running on my machine? Well, let's take a quick look at what you'll need to unlock the power of DLSS on your own gaming PC.
So what do you need? Honestly, it's pretty straightforward. The single most important piece of the puzzle is a compatible NVIDIA GeForce RTX graphics card.
so anything from the 20 series on up. You'll also want a decent CPU, at least 8 to 16 gigs of RAM, and, this is super important, the latest graphics drivers from NVIDIA.
Now, the reason you specifically need an RTX card is because they have this special hardware inside called tensor cores. You can basically think of them as tiny, dedicated AI brains right on your graphics card, built specifically to run the heavy-duty calculations that make DLSS possible in real time.
And once you've got all that, the final step is, well, it's the easiest part. You just hop into your game's graphics settings, find the DLSS option, and flip it on. You can usually choose between a few modes, like quality for the best visuals, performance for the highest frame rates, and balanced for a nice mix of both.
You know, as incredible as all this is right now, it's so important to remember that this is just the beginning. This is a powerful glimpse into the future of gaming.
I mean, we're already on newer versions of DLSS that are even smarter and more efficient. Each new version just gets better at reconstructing the image, giving us even sharper visuals and bigger performance gains. The tech is constantly learning and evolving, just pushing the absolute boundaries of what we thought was possible.
And this is where it gets really exciting when you start thinking about what's next. We're talking even more photorealistic graphics. This stuff showing up in pretty much every new game. And maybe most exciting of all, game-changing applications for things like VR and AR, where high resolution and high performance are absolutely non-negotiable.
At the end of the day, it really comes down to this. DLSS has fundamentally changed the equation for PC gaming. It's not just some small update. It's a massive shift that delivers a smoother, more beautiful, and more immersive experience for millions of us.
And that leaves us with this one kind of mind-blowing final thought. We're now in an era where AI isn't just an enemy in our games. It's actively helping to build the virtual worlds we play in real time. Now that that's possible, where do you think we go next? It's an exciting time to be a gamer, that's for sure.